Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you on here, and I hope you guys can try these mandalas and have a fun time doing it. So before we get started on the mandala design, I'm going to explain our tools. So the tools I use are color-coded, so they have a color on the top of the tools. When you buy them off of Temu or Amazon, they usually just come clear. So first off, for the twirly tools, I do not use the green twirly for any of my tutorials, so you can set this one aside. As for the rods, the largest two rods, I, again, also do not use for any of my tutorials, but if you're doing like a bigger project on your own time, then of course you can use these. So now to help you understand what I have color-coded, you can lay them out biggest to smallest. The biggest one, which is the green one, next size down, we have it marked as the blue stick. And then next size down after the blue is the white stick. After the white stick, it's the yellow stick. And then we have the pink stick. And then last but not least, trying to pick them up, is the black stick. And then of course we have the twirlies. These are self-explanatory. They are color-coded already. You can color code them yourself. We use just nail polish on the tops of the tools. We can get started with the design now. For today's class, I'm using this color palette. Paint color number 1 is Deco Art Americana Snow Titanium White. Paint color 2 is Craft Smart Dark Yellow. Paint color 3 is Deco Art Americana Sunny Day. Paint color 4 is Deco Art Americana Ocean Blue. And paint color 5 is a mix of ocean blue and snow titanium white. About 40% blue, 60% white. And for paint color 6, we are using Craft Smart Multi-Surface Metallic Radiant Gold. So we're gonna real quick go over some different techniques and designs that we're gonna use. So for the first one, we're gonna use the pink stick and the pink stylus. So you'll take the pink stick, dip it into the paint, and you don't wanna dip just the edge like this. You want to over dip at least a little bit. So you'll place a dot, then you'll take the pink stylus, the bigger end, dip it in the paint and place a dot right above it, kind of like a snowman with a very small head. Then you'll take the pink stylus smaller end, dip into the paint, and then without re-dipping, you're going to dot halfway around, then you'll re-dip, start at the top, and do the other half. Next, we're gonna use, once again, the same tools. We're gonna start with the pink stick, dipping into the paint, and then you'll place a dot. Then you'll take the pink stylus and you're going to drag that paint down to make a teardrop. I like doing one straight down the middle first and then kind of 2 smaller ones on each side to kind of smooth out the edges. Moving on, we're gonna use the white stylus, the bigger end. So for this, make sure you get a lot of paint on your tool, swirl it around so you get a good amount on there. Then you're gonna place it on your sheet of paper and slowly drag. If it turns out too short, you can always just retrace it and keep dragging that paint along as long as you want it. Another thing you can do to make sure you get enough paint on there is place a dot and just re-dip and kind of keep adding paint to that first dot before you go and drag it. So using these dragging techniques, we're gonna practice 2 designs with them. The first one is what I like to call a seashell. So we're gonna use the pink stylus, starting with the bigger end. You're going to do 1 drag straight down, then you'll switch to the smaller end and do smaller ones on each side, starting slightly lower than the previous one. And the very last technique that we're gonna do, we're gonna use the pink stick and pink stylus. And it's very similar to these walking the dots. Once again, we're gonna use the pink stick. You'll place a dot. Then with the pink stylus bigger end, you're going to place a dot above it. Then you'll switch to the smaller end, but instead of doing dots, you're going to do 2 small little drags. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and get started on the bowl. Don't forget, you guys have a little Lazy Susan that you can put underneath to make it really easy to spin around. So for the first step, we're gonna take the blue stick and paint color 2. And we're gonna put this first dot right in the middle. Right in the middle of our bowl. Next up, we're gonna use the pink stylus, the smaller end with paint color 5. And we are going to place a dot where each of our lines are. So these first 4, but then also the 3 here. So just almost like extend that line all the way towards the
end or bigger end of the stylus?
Small end.
Color number 5?
Yes. Next up, we're gonna use the pink stylus bigger end with paint color 1. And we're gonna place these dots in between the lines. Next step, we're gonna use the pink stylus bigger end again. And we're gonna use paint color 3, and we're putting these dots on the lines. Next step, we're gonna use the white stylus, bigger end with paint color 4. And we're putting these dots in between the lines. Next step, we're gonna take the black stick with paint color 6, and we're placing these dots on the lines. Next step, we're gonna use the pink stylus, the smaller end with paint color 2, and we're gonna place small little dots in between the bigger ones we just made. Next up, we're gonna take the black stick with paint color 4, and we're putting these dots in between the lines.
Color 4, right?
Mm-hmm. Next up, we're gonna take the pink stylus, smaller end, with paint color 1, and in between each of those dots we placed, we're going to do 4 dots like this.
Small end.
Mm-hmm. Next step, we're gonna take the black stick with paint color 3, and we're gonna place these dots right above our 4 little ones. Next up, we're gonna use the pink stylus, and we're gonna use paint color 5. We're going to start with the bigger end, and you're going to place a dot right above, like that, and then you'll switch to the smaller end, dip in the paint, and we're going to do 2 small drags on each side. Next step, we're going to use the pink stylus again with paint color 2. Starting with the bigger end, we're going to place 3 dots, kind of like a little pyramid on top like that. Then you'll switch to the smaller end and do 2 small drags on each side. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the black stick with paint color 6, and we are putting a dot in between those designs. Next step, we're gonna use the pink stick with paint color 6, and we're going to put another dot above it like this. Next step, we're gonna take the pink stylus with paint color 4.
Small or large?
So we're gonna use the bigger end first for that first dot, and then you'll switch to the smaller end and walk the dots around. Next step, we're gonna do that same exact thing, but with paint color 5. So pink stylus, bigger end for the first dot, and smaller end for the dots that go around. Next step, we're gonna use the white stylus with the same color, paint color 5, and we're gonna do basically the same thing, bigger end for that first dot, and then smaller end to go around. Next step, we're gonna use the pink stylus with paint color 3. We're going to start with the bigger end and about the same level that the top of our walking the dots is. That's where we'll start. And you're going to do a straight drag down, then you'll switch to the smaller end and do a smaller one on each side.
3.
So yeah, just 3.
3.
Next step, we're gonna take the pink stick with paint color 4, and we're just going to place a dot above our seashells. Next up, we're gonna take the pink stylus with paint color 1, using the bigger end first for that first dot, and then smaller end to walk the dots around. Next step, we're basically gonna do the same thing. So with the pink stylus, paint color 6, bigger end for that first dot, and smaller end to go around.
What color?
6. Next step, we're gonna use the white stylus with paint color 5, bigger end for the first dot and smaller end to go around. Next up, we're gonna use the blue and white stylus with paint color 2. We're gonna use the blue stylus bigger end for the first dot, and then the white stylus bigger end for the dots that go around. Next step, we're gonna take the white stylus with paint color 3. We're gonna use the bigger end, and starting in between the first and the second dots of the walking the dots, we're going to drag down and around. And then once you've done on both sides with that same size, the bigger end, you're going to place 3 dots like that.
So drag first.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next step, we're going to take the white stylus with paint color 1. We're going to use the bigger end. And who of you have already reached this chalk circle around? Yeah? Okay. So we're going to start basically right on it. Well, for those of you who are right next to it. And you're just going to
I'm a long way from it.
dot down. Long way from it? Okay, so just start about the level with these top points. So that with the bigger end, and then with the smaller end, you're just gonna do 2 small little drags right next to it. Next step, we're going to use the white stylus and the pink stylus. And we're going to use paint color 5. So using the white stylus first, the bigger end, you're going to place a dot right above those little rays that we did. Then you'll take the pink stylus, smaller end, and we're going to make a little star. So I like to do the first point up, and then 2 little ones like that, and then 2 more like that. So I kind of think of it as a head, legs, legs and arms. And I would recommend place 1 dot and draw out the star so that the paint doesn't dry before you get to it, because then it's going to be really hard to drag the paint.
So sorry, what size stylus to make the dot?
White stylus, bigger end.
Okay, and then pink.
So we are done with the actual design of the bowl. Now we're going to do the edges with our fruits. So I'm going to show you how to do each fruit. Well, yeah, each fruit. For those of you who have the purple and yellow palette, you guys are going to be doing grapes and lemons, and the other palette is cherries and blueberries. So you're going to use the black stick and the pink stylus for all these fruits. So for the lemons, you'll take the black stick. You'll take the black stick. Then you're going to take the pink stylus, bigger end, and put 2 smaller dots kind of on the sides like that. And then you can use the smaller end to kind of smooth out those edges, kind of like that. And then you guys should have a separate container of green paint that you can use for stems and leaves. Little drag for a stem and a little leaf. So those are lemons. For grapes, you're going to basically kind of make a flower. So you'll make 3 in a row, and then 2 and 2, and then you can choose which way you want your grape to kind of tilt, and you'll put 1 more dot. Okay, and now for the cherries and blueberries. For the cherries, you'll use the black stick first, and you'll place 2 dots pretty close to each other. and then the smaller end of the pink stylus with the green paint. And you'll start up at the top and kind of create a little curve down to the cherry. Start at the same spot and curve to the other cherry. And then you can add a little leaf to the top of the stem. And then you can do either double like this, or you can do just one cherry, basically same thing. Like that. So those are cherries and blueberries. You will put a dot, and then with the pink stylus smaller end, you'll kind of drag the paint out into 3 points like that. And then once you get those fruits done, you can use the gold paint. You can use the gold paint and kind of do little gold clusters in between so that you don't have to fill it up too much with the fruits. Just do little gold clusters.
Working all day. I'm really cross-eyed. Driving was never my thing. Tried something different. Isn't it great? She did a great job.
I'm trying.
I just had to practice over.
Do you mind? And then 3 little clusters of gold. You're fine. And then 3 little clusters of gold.
I've used the pink stylus bigger.
tried painting with metallic paint, glow paint, iridescent paint.